Offer this as a copywriter in 2026 and clients will beg to work with you. Line up in front of your apartment literally, because right now you're not getting the work you want to because of a few reasons. Number one could be skill, but I'm not going to cover that one in this video. But number two is your offer. I'll show you the 4 biggest problems with what I bet you're offering right now, why that doesn't work, what you should do instead, and how to make clients actually care about what you're selling so that, again, they line up to work with you. So these are the 4 biggest problems with copywriting in 2026. And number one is that people generally do not give a fuck about emails and email marketing. That is a sad truth, right? It's very fun for you and I. We love it. We love writing stories. We think it's the most fun thing ever. But most people don't. I mean, they'd rather watch paint dry than just like learn about email marketing. And so whenever you speak about that, their brain turns off. For a few reasons. One, okay, because it's boring. But two, because they've been sold that so many times. They have been pitched by the same copywriters in the same way for the same thing hundreds, if not thousands of times, depending on who you're reaching out to. You have to understand, when you offer something to someone, it has to be something novel, something new. Because when you reach out to someone that you want to work with and they're not wowed, they don't think, oh my God, this really caught my attention, they're not going to respond to you. They're not going to get on that call with you. They're not going to hear you out. And as a copywriter, you should know that the most important thing to do is grab someone's attention. And you're not going to do it with the same, oh, let me do emails for you. Number 3 is that your I'll do your emails offer is often not a good fit for the business that you're reaching out to. Why? Because if they have a very small list and you're there and you're like, hey, I'll write emails for you. Let's say they have a list of 800 people, of 1,000 people that they haven't nurtured all too well. Well, then what money are you going to make for that list? Sure, you'll make some sales. I trust you, right? But I'm 100% sure that you can't just come in there and say, hey, yeah, that's going to be $3,000 a month. And then they have a list of 1,000 people, a product with an AOV of $200, and you sell a few of them a month. The business owners are not stupid. They'll see that that doesn't make sense for them. And so you're targeting very, very small businesses that just do not have the capacity for what you want to do for them right now. But then when you want to target the big businesses, they already have a content and copywriting team that they're happy with. So you're stuck there in the middle, not being able to catch anyone's attention. And even if you do, nobody cares. I'll show you how to fix this. So this is the funnel that you should be doing. Okay, first of all, right now you're probably just doing emails or maybe sales pages, just this part of the funnel. But what about this huge part of the funnel? Because you have traffic, a conversion mechanism, and a sales page. If you just add more traffic, you'll get more sales. But a lot of the times, what you're just doing is simply being focused on the wrong thing, on just emails. And if someone has 800 people on their list, there's only a limited amount of money that they can make before they actually need more people on that list. And you can do that so easily. You want to take care of everything because then you can actually make the most amount of money for someone. If you just dial up the conversions, sure, you'll make more money, but why not dial up the conversions and the traffic? So let me show you the winning deliverables, something you can actually offer to people. Scripts for Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. You focus on authority, that they come off as an authority figure that can actually help out someone. Retention, because the longer the watch time, the more the algorithm pushes the video. Brand perception, again, this ties in with authority. And optimize it for leads so that people actually reach out and not just some random people that have $3 to their name, but actually qualified leads. You do this through smart scripts. You can offer captions because a longer watch time, because someone reads a very long caption, scrolls, the watch time goes higher. Instagram loves videos that have a high watch time and a lot of comments. And then the person gets more traffic. And if they get more traffic, they get more sales. That's very, very simple. So you're already getting a lot of traffic and you're dialing up the conversions and you haven't even gotten into the emails actually. And I'll show you in a few minutes why this is so important and how to actually do that. Then what you want to do is collect emails through ManyChat. ManyChat is simply this comment copywriting, and I'll send you my free guide for whatever type of thing that you see on Instagram. Basically, it's this software where someone comments on your post or reel, and you're like, hi, thanks for reaching out. Sorry. And you're like, hi, thanks for reaching out. We're excited you're interested in the content and the ebook. To get it, leave us your email. And then they get your email and you add them to a list or whatever. You just add them to a list and then you start emailing them. People want you to set this up for them because they don't know how to do it. They don't have the time. They don't even know about this. So this is where your expertise comes in. And all these things are so simple. They are copywriting at the end of the day. I'll show you. Then you can set up a welcome sequence if they don't already had one, right? Because they will be getting leads. They will be getting people in their email list. You need to welcome them somehow. Then emails 3 to 5 times a week. Then sales pages for cold and warm traffic. Do you see how you're currently only want to do this? But look at the whole funnel. Look at how much more impact you can have. Sure, if you somehow land a client that has high ticket offers, a lot of testimonials, a 20,000 people list, sure, then just doing emails for them is so cool. It takes like no work. You're just on. It takes like no work. You're in Bali on the beach and just like typing away and making a shitload of money, right? But realistically, you are never going to land these clients at the level that you're currently at. You will not. And that's why whenever you do outreach to these people, you always get ignored. But if you actually go for smaller accounts that have a lot of buying power, and I'll show you how to find those, then you can offer all of this, have a huge retainer, be insanely intertwined with their business so they can never get rid of you because you pretty much do everything in their business. This is how I structure my deals, to where I have the control to make them a lot of money to actually scale their business, and they have no reason to get rid of me because it's working well and it just costs too much, because then their whole business would crumble, and this is what you want to do. Now, how do you do this? Because you probably have seen a lot of guides about emails, sales pages, whatever. I also have a lot of them on my channel, but about content, not so much. So let me show you a few things. Scripts and ideation. First of all, you have to ideate the content and script it out. You have 3 types of posts: top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. This is very simple. Top of funnel, you're targeting a broader audience. So for example, you can talk about confidence and entrepreneurship, things like that really a lot of people can relate to. And this is how you get views. This is how you build up an audience. Then middle of funnel is education, where you're showing your stories, your frameworks, your lessons, how you work, how you do this, how you do that. And this is middle of funnel, to where you're educating people, getting that authority. People trust you. And then you have bottom of funnel posts where you give proof and results. And this is where you're going to get the least amount of views, but the most amount of leads. And then you just switch that up, all right? You do a few top of funnels, a few middle of funnels, and maybe 1 to 2 bottom of funnel posts per week. And you'll see that your client will grow, their audience will grow, and they'll make more and more and more money as the months go on. But now, how do you structure a post? This is so simple, I swear. Especially when you're doing it for clients, you want to kill creativity. Not truly kill, but you want to dial down creativity and just find viral videos in their niche and in adjacent niches too, and then copy the hook and the format. So you just scroll, and you're attentive to what you're seeing. So your business is literally scrolling. That's the 21st century. But you just take the hook, word for word, bar for bar. You copy and you paste the hook. You change up a few words so it fits the context, and bam, you have a winning viral hook. You just take the format again. I do this all of the time. You just literally steal and copy someone's video, but make your version of it with your client's blueprint, with your client's stories. And that's how you can guarantee that each and every video that you make for your clients actually does well and better and better and better over time. So I'm telling you, this is nothing insanely difficult. I know you haven't been taught this, but trust me, it's not that difficult. You focus on retention in the scripts. This is quite easy. You just delay the payoffs and have rehooks. You just don't say the hooks like 3 things that will help you get clients. Number 1, 2, 3, and then the video is done. Like, no, you kind of want to delay it. Talk about number 1 a bit for longer, and number 2, perhaps say that the best is number 3 or something like that, so that they watch until the end. This is simple stuff. And the client will most likely already have a way they record content. So it's not like you have to edit these videos and be like, take this angle on that angle, because they probably already do record content. You're just going to help them do it much much better and with way less work. All you have to do is learn how they do their content, how they switch their shots, how they position the camera and all of whatever. You just look at their content, you use your eyes, and then you adapt your script to that. Plain and simple. And then at the end of the script, you have a CTA, like comment copywriting, and I'll send you my free outreach in 2026 guide. I really could have used this opportunity to offer you my freebie, but I didn't. But it doesn't matter, I still will. So basically, first link in the description, you have my anti-beginner email copywriting guide, where as soon as you read it, you will go from here to here, and it'll pretty much be 99% better than 99% of your competition reaching out to your dream clients, because you'll understand what the fuck email is supposed to do. It will help you get clients and get results for them and retain them. So first link in the description. Now, captions. You have to go wild on the hook for the captions. Be controversial so they click more. Because if you can get them to click more while watching a video, you're golden. Especially if the caption is very, very, very long, then they will scroll and scroll and scroll. And if you remember what we said the more they scroll and read, longer watch time, more retention, more views, more money, more whatever. Got a bit carried away there. And you have to make a you focus. So if you're telling a story if you're showing something in your video and telling a story, well, then it doesn't really make much sense to tell the story in the caption, because they don't see the thing. They don't see what's happening in the video if the video is important to the story. So you always want to make it you focused, because that's also quite nice for conversions. So you make it you focused, speak about their problems, their pain points. You give a few lessons, because you can probably also remember the last time that you clicked more. It was probably when someone told you 3 steps to do something. And then you learned in that caption, actually, you do want to give some value in that. And the caption should feel long, but like it flows fast. You just use very short lines, because you want to get that scrolling and scrolling indefinitely effect. And as I already said, I noticed that this 1, 2, 3 or 3 steps to whatever formats do very, very well. When you actually set up a problem and you deliver on your promise, you give them the outcome that they clicked more on. And if you can format it in like 1 or 2 or 3 or 3 steps or whatever, that will help you a lot, trust me. You simply use the same CTA as a script, and you get hundreds, if not thousands, of people joining your email list every single month. Now, the best part is right here. Clients actually care about content, because I know you're thinking, well, but why would I just not do emails? Because people don't care about emails, but clients actually care about content, because content is the number one most important lever for most businesses, because that's how they build the relationships. That's how they build trust. That's how they get their traffic. Without traffic, you cannot do anything. I'm not saying all businesses. There are businesses that literally have no content and only rely on email, but they're probably also copywriters, so that's not going to work for you. Content is so important, and yet you're simply ignoring it. You're just turning a blind eye. You're like, no, that shit doesn't exist, emails. And when you talk about an easy way to explode reach and turn the traffic into buyers, clients listen, because they care about content. I mean, that's their literal business. That's a literal job. They're on there making content every single day so that they can build a business and make more money. Of course, when you talk about that, they care. Email is just a little part of it. Content is their everything. And it's so important that you do this. Now, it's all copywriting. Content is all copywriting. So don't think, yeah, but that's not what I want to do. Shut up. This is what you want to do, because hooks are copywriting. Scripts is copywriting. I mean, you're literally writing on a keyboard, making people do things. Captions, copywriting. ManyChat, the messages. Where is it? The messages. Let me find this. The messages. They're all copywriting. How do you get someone to check this out? How do you get someone to leave you their email, right? So it's all copywriting. Scroll Instagram right now. You'll see that almost nobody uses long captions. I actually did this right before recording this just to see that nothing changed. And no, indeed, nothing has changed. People are oblivious to that. And this is such an easy thing to offer. Say, hey, yo, you don't have long captions, and just implement that. And your reach will be so much higher. You will turn leads into buyers. Who wouldn't want that? They care. There's so many creators out there with good businesses that suck at writing scripts. And you can really see this if they have kind of a more expensive offer and lots of testimonials, but not a huge following. That's very easy to see, and you want to find these accounts. Now I'll show you who to target. You want to find profitable businesses without huge accounts, so 10K to 50K followers. But very important that you establish that it's a profitable business, because a follower count does not at all equate to revenue, does not at all correlate to revenue. So what you have to do is, yes, first check that it's not a big account, but then find those that are not big and that you can see have a lot of testimonials, that have said they have a lot of client wins and all of these things, because that's how you know, okay, they make money, especially if their offers are not like $20, but they are 1,000, 2,000, 500, whatever, a good AOV, so that you can say, okay, well, if I sell a certain amount, I'll make them a certain amount, which means I can charge a percentage of that, a certain amount. And these accounts are fantastic because they don't get bombarded with cold emails. Yes, with DMs, everyone gets bombarded with DMs, but your outreach can actually stand out because not so many people are in their emails being like, hey, hello, let's work together. And so not only do they have the pains, but they also have less competition. I mean, you have less competition. Which pains do they have? Well, they need better content because they are very profitable businesses without huge accounts. So they need better content. And they don't want to do it themselves because they want to be focused on the deliverables, on the thing that they do for their clients, but also they just don't know because otherwise they wouldn't be there where they are. And their sales pages and emails often don't bring enough cashola. Very often their emails are actually not that good and their sales pages are kind of meh. And you know this, but you want to really, really offer emails. Well, with content is how you get through the door because that makes them care. And they got the money, right? These people have got the money because they have profitable businesses. They have the money, they have the pains, and there's not a whole bunch of competition inside of their inboxes and emails. Sounds like a perfect match for me. So from now on, first of all, first link in the description, go CTA yourself and grab my anti-beginner email copywriting guide. But second of all, start offering content, start learning content, and get your foot through the door with that, and then offer emails and sales pages. I have spoken.